Caleb, ready?
So cool.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the Triple Threat Show on WXJM, 88.7 FM Harrisonburg, Virginia, and WXJM.org. My name is Jeremy Lapidus, host of this Triple Threat Show, joined as always by my three friends and co-hosts,
Shane Brisland,
Peter Kegwin,
and
for the first time ever, on time, Caleb.
Woo! You can catch us live, these shows always, on YouTube at the Triple Threat Show. You can catch our other posts on Instagram at the Triple Threat Show and on Twitter at 3Threat Show. We have a really good show for you today. Obviously, the NFL Draft is tomorrow.
Let's go.
Because of
First
that,
round.
well, that's like the most important one
It
that
is the
everyone
most
pays
important,
attention. Yeah.
Nobody by Saturday, nobody cares about 4, 5, 6, and 7.
I'll have you know that the greatest football player of all time was drafted in the 6th.
Yeah, and who's that?
Thomas Brady.
Ooh,
What's his middle name?
I have no idea.
It's
Good
Edward.
question. Is it
Yeah.
Edward?
It's Edward.
Why do
Ew.
you know that?
Oh, he's no longer the best player ever.
Why don't I know that?
Okay.
Jeremy actually has his birth certificate.
Yeah, no, I had it tattooed on my chest.
Oh, wait, hold on a second, guys. I have it right here.
But yeah, the draft. So we're gonna do a condensed first round mock for you guys. We're also gonna talk about Aaron Rodgers. He got traded Monday or yesterday. I don't remember. It was really recently though. Monday. We're going to talk about some fifth-year option stuff that happened earlier this week. We're going to talk about the NBA playoffs, the NHL playoffs, and if there's time at the end, we'll squeeze in some baseball.
So if we have time for baseball at the end, just check off.
No, there's actually a lot of important news in baseball this week. There's also some JMU news if you guys wanted to cover that. It's kind of
Sure.
Yeah, so we'll do that first. Anyway, before we get into that, there's a lot today. How has everybody's week been?
Well, first off, I want to say today is a very special day. It's my mom's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
So happy birthday to her.
That's nice.
So shout out to Mom, big supporter of the show. One of our fewer listeners.
We'll always
Yeah.
shout out to Mom.
Yeah.
Always.
Respect to all mothers out there, especially my mother today.
Especially.
Yeah. It's also Kirill Kaprizov's birthday, so
Oh.
good for him. He's turning 26. A lot of very important people in my life's birthdays.
Hockey player
For the Minnesota Wild,
He's
yeah.
pretty good.
Gotcha.
You looked so confused.
I thought he was shouting out one of his friends.
Yes, I have ties with Russians, yeah.
Maybe
Oh.
don't say that on the radio.
Do we need to contact someone about this?
Oh man.
Anyway, I digress.
Paul.
How was your weeks, guys?
Let's hear it, Peter.
It was good.
It's good.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. I don't really feel like elaborating further, so good.
All right, cool. What about what's up with you, Caleb?
Well, in the past week, I had the showcase for my 2-year project, my glorious capstone. I won 2 awards, so that was very nice. I won the Environmental Impact Award, and then thanks to actually the 3 of you guys, I won People's Choice Award. So that was nice. Except for one.
Well, 2 of us.
Yeah, I know. I got Shane, but
You did not get me.
I know.
I walked out the door with my ballot. I
Yeah.
forgot to vote.
But it's nice to say thanks to you guys. You guys were just supposed to roll with it.
Yeah.
In fairness, I literally
You're
said,
welcome,
where do
Caleb.
I go to vote? And to one of the women there who were manning the station, and she said, oh, you have to wait for lunch. And she told me that lunch was at 12, 2 hours later. And I was like, no.
Bro, my parents showed up before you and voted.
That's what she said. She said, here you go. And she handed this and she said, you have to vote at lunch.
My parents were gone before lunch.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but
I was lied to them.
Well, congratulations, Caleb. That's
yeah,
awesome.
Either way, my capstone actually won that award pretty handily.
Yeah,
so
you're
Good
done.
capstone.
it was really funny. I'm almost done. I have to finish my final paper with the rest of my team, so that's where I'm at. How are you doing, Jeremy?
Me, I'm doing wonderful. I'm doing pretty good. I can't really
He
complain
made it
that
seem
much.
like he was gonna elaborate.
I don't really have much to elaborate on.
Yeah.
So
I just
we
had a pretty
stuff
good
to
week.
talk about.
Yeah.
And then we had It Was Good, and it was wonderful.
Yeah.
There's no reason why it was wonderful, but it was
Yeah.
just wonderful.
Nothing bad happened this week. That's a pretty good week,
Actually,
man.
you know what? That's a good reason. I'll take that
I
one.
don't
There
really
you go.
need to elaborate anymore. I think.
Nope, after saying that, you don't.
Yeah. Pretty good week. Anyway, we're gonna start with JMU news before we get to the NFL. Field hockey, very good program here at JMU.
As
Yeah.
always.
Officially announced as of next season, they are joining the MAC Mid-Atlantic Conference. They were independent last year, and they missed the playoffs because they weren't in a conference, which was stupid and dumb and unfair. But
They persevered.
yeah,
They finally got a conference.
they were like top 25 for most of last season
Yeah.
too, so it's like super dumb. But they got a conference, and yeah, that's the big news. It's really exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's always big news.
Yeah.
JMU also ranks in women's lacrosse.
Yeah, they're number 5. They fell, even though they've won 15 straight.
Yeah.
That's a new program record.
Our lacrosse team is
Yeah.
incredible.
Insanely
They're really
good.
good.
That team is so
They've got a real shot at winning the national championship this year.
They are by far our best sports team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really disappointed that they won 15 and then
They've been
They
sitting
won.
at 4 for like 3 or 4 weeks now, and then the last poll they fell 1 for some reason.
for some reason they've won 15 straight, and it just boggles my mind that like, despite playing so good and all that, they're like, oh, we're just gonna drop your rank for no reason.
Doesn't matter. They won't be worse than a 2 seed.
No. So, oh well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That was a brief JMU segment.
So, Aaron Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers, big drama for about 2 years at this point, maybe even more.
Yeah.
Ever since Jordan Love was drafted, I think that's 3 years ago now. Almost exactly.
2020.
2020.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 years ago.
Almost 3 years ago, Jordan Love was drafted.
I want to say 2019 for some reason.
It's
but
definitely
2020.
not
I think
2019.
it's 2020.
Jordan Love was in the 2020 draft.
Yep.
Yep.
Round 1, pick 26.
There it is. So almost exactly 3 years ago today, this whole
Well, not
thing.
only did they draft her, they traded up
Yeah.
to draft him.
Yeah,
Which
they
was
did.
a lot of drama at the time as well, because Aaron Rodgers did not take too kindly.
No, he did not.
He was like, they're finally going to draft me another wide receiver. Nope.
No. Well, I mean, it's the same situation as the Seahawks did. Seahawks waited to fix their O-line until Russell Wilson left. And then they were like, oh, we should fix our O-line. And now Aaron Rodgers is out, so I'm willing to bet with this first-round pick coming up, they're going to draft some type of weapon for Jordan Love. I'm like, I have it.
They have to. They have
Anyway, we'll talk about
Yeah, we'll talk
draft
about that.
later. Let's stick with the Aaron Rodgers.
But Aaron Rodgers, who has been very publicly disgruntled with the Packers for almost 3 years,
to.
gotten to a
wouldn't say
point.
publicly.
It's
It's
been
pretty
very
public.
public.
Yeah.
No, as in, like, it's publicly through other people's voices, because Aaron Rodgers hates the media.
He talks once a week on the Pat McAfee
McAfee
show,
That
and then he has 45 minutes a week to say whatever he wants. You're gonna call that not public?
Well, I mean, I just don't think that he talks with most of the media. I think, as in,
No. We never said it was in the media. Pat McAfee reported all of it, and then everyone else was like, via Pat McAfee or the Pat McAfee show.
fair.
It was very public. He just went on Pat McAfee because
He likes Pat
and
McAfee.
he likes
Yeah.
Pat McAfee because, I mean, who doesn't?
And like every summer, it's been like, will he, won't he retire?
Uh-huh.
Like, will he,
Yeah.
won't he get a contract extension? Will he not get traded? What are the 49ers? It's just
Yeah.
it's just going on for so many years. It's nice to see it finally happening.
But yes, we've
happy
reached a
it's finally
conclusion
over.
as of Monday. He has officially, finally been traded to the Jets. It is for a lot. Please correct me, because I don't have my
pull it up.
computer right in front
I
of
have
me.
it. Do you want me to
Yeah, read it out.
All right, so the Packers,
Swap it first.
yeah, they traded Aaron Rodgers, their first-round pick, and a fifth-round pick.
That I was gonna miss the fifth, because it's a conditional second that could turn into a first
Yeah.
if Aaron Rodgers plays
So-
65% of the
So
snaps.
to the Jets, they got so they swapped firsts.
Yes.
They moved to so the Packers pretty much moved up 2 spots from 15 to 13. They got a 2023 second-round pick.
But that is conditional.
Yeah. Well, no, they traded. Sorry, the Jets. They received Green Bay's first-round pick in 2023, a 2023 second-round pick, a 2023 sixth-round pick, and a conditional 2024 second-round pick that becomes a first if Rodgers plays 65% of the plays this season.
There we go.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that conditional still goes away if he retires next season.
Probably.
So,
I know, Peter, you haven't decided how you feel in this trade.
no.
How does the rest of you guys feel about this? Is this a fair compensation? What does the future look like for these two teams?
I think it's a little bit more than I would have given, for sure. But it's kind of hard to tell who wins this trade because we haven't seen Aaron Rodgers play yet. And I want to say, on paper, I think the Green Bay Packers win this trade. Just because, again, I don't know. Aaron Rodgers is so old. I don't know what you're going to get out of him. The Jets are in a really tough division. And I hear people calling them contenders already. And I'm like, all right, slow down. You're in a division with the Buffalo Bills, the Miami Dolphins, and the Patriots. Like, there's no guarantee they're making the playoffs. And you have a lot of rookies who had really good years. Now they have film on them. Like, what about the sophomore slumps?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would slow down on calling them contenders because everyone on ESPN seemed to say that. But I'm like, I think that's a huge jump. They are definitely a better team on paper with Aaron Rodgers. But I still think they're like a borderline playoff team depending on what happens, especially in that division. So I want to say, right, and at least with the Packers, you knew where you were getting rid of Rodgers at some point, and you got a haul of picks. So I like this trade for the Packers. Jets, we'll see what happens.
I think that's very good, Shane. I think you nailed a lot of that. It was a lot to give up. The Jets were desperate at this point. I think it was very smart of the Packers to wait until right before the draft. Because the Jets, this is the most desperate you're going to get the Jets right now, days before the draft. It's a lot to give up, but for a quarterback that's won MVP 2 out of the last 3 years, you pair him up with a pretty solid offensive line, a really good defense, Garrett Wilson, and hopefully a healthy Breece Hall.
Alan Lazard.
Alan Lazard, yeah, I can't forget about him.
I think Hardman is also a decent wide receiver 3 too.
Right, that's a very solid. It's a really, really good team. Also, he has familiarity with the system because they hired Nathaniel Hackett, who in the press conference today, Rodgers called a very good friend of his, which was another reason he wanted to come to the Jets. I think Nathaniel Hackett's a good offensive coordinator. Not a good head coach, but I think he's a good offensive coordinator. That team's going to be very good. Like Shane said, they have to play in a division with the Bills and the Dolphins. That's going to be tough.
Corey Davis. That's the other one.
Corey Davis.
He's not bad.
He's a wide receiver, too.
He is.
Yeah.
Are you complaining about having him as a wide receiver, too?
The amount of money they're paying him, yeah.
Oh, yes. But, like,
yes.
When you have a wide receiver room of Garrett Wilson, Corey Davis, and Alan Lazard, I'm not angry.
Don't forget about Hardman, right? Hardman?
I thought Mecole went to...
No, he went to the Jets.
Yeah, Mecole Hardman.
Yep. That's not as big of a deal.
Oh, he did? Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Mecole Hardman.
It doesn't have to hurt to have a
the
Super Bowl
Falcons.
championship, though.
Somebody went to the Falcons. I don't know. That's not on this topic.
I don't remember who went to the Falcons. Excuse me.
Nathaniel Hackett's not the head coach.
No, he's the offensive coordinator. He's a good offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to work out.
He's done pretty good with that team.
That team's going to be really good. I don't know if I can call it a contender right now.
I think it's way too early to call them a contender.
But they are on that borderline. If you're making like a tier list where it's contenders, almost contenders, and then, playoff teams, and then not playoff teams, if you do something like that, the Jets would be squarely in that second category, in between playoff teams and contenders. You know?
I think it ultimately depends on how well Rodgers returns to the Nathaniel Hackett system.
Yeah.
If he goes back to his MVP form that he was with Hackett, I think we're going to be looking at a really good team. But it ultimately depends on that. So.
And adding, what's his face? Adding Garrett Wilson. Having Garrett Wilson as like your Devontae,
an actual wide receiver.
Yeah, as your like Devontae Adams replacement in that offense. He can play that role. And Rodgers needs that receiver one that he can really count on.
Yeah. I don't know. I go back and forth with this. It is a lot to give up. I don't think it's as much as people think it is, especially with that conditional, because if he does retire, I mean, essentially all you did was move up 2 spots. You got a second and a 6. So, and then you get a 5th in your team. So, I mean, it's not the worst trade in the world. The interesting thing that and what I think will actually determine whether this was a good trade for the Jets is how Brady does with Zach Wilson. For people who don't know, Zach Wilson and Rodgers, are really close. And Zach Wilson has said on multiple occasions that Rodgers has been somewhat like a mentor to him. And when the Jets actually finally traded for Rodgers, Zach Wilson's mom actually like tweeted out saying how happy she was. So, I don't know.
So Rodgers had his introductory news conference with
Yeah.
the Jets.
Yep.
And in the news conference, there were some questions asked by the media asking about the messages left by Packers general manager Brian
Gutekunst.
Yeah, from this offseason. And they said that he had to communicate with Rodgers' agents instead of actually talking with Rodgers. In that, Rodgers said, "People who know me, I'm fortunate to live in a beautiful house. The only downside is I have limited cell service. If you want to get a hold of me, I need to see your face. You have to FaceTime me." I think that is the funniest way to dodge saying, "Oh yeah, I just didn't want to talk to the guy. I just wanted to be off the team." That's just funny. That's really good. That's rich.
I mean, on the other end of this deal, the Packers obviously get to move up in this draft.
2 spots.
It's better than nothing.
They leapfrog the Patriots.
Yeah, they do. And at the same time, you're getting to have it's a smooth transition to your next quarterback in Jordan Love. He's shown a lot of growth, really. Like, you watch him from his first snaps in preseason when he was first drafted to what he did against the Eagles last season. Immense.
I mean, let's be honest. He was behind one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
Right, but one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time that I'm willing to bet didn't do that much to mentor him.
I have a feeling that you being in the same room and watching what this guy is doing is immensely helpful to someone's development.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
I mean,
sure it is.
It's just not as helpful as if Rodgers was like, "Hey."
Which is why I'm wondering about the Zach Wilson situation, because I genuinely think that Rodgers will sit him down to help him.
I think Rodgers will sit Wilson down to help him.
Yeah.
Because he's showing up and he knows he's not going to play for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
I mean, he'd be 43 at that point?
Yeah, he's not pulling a Brady.
He's not going to be that old. I say he maximum 41 and he's calling.
That's when his contract's done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I believe it if he sits down with Wilson. He's like, "Hey, here's what you can
Wasn't
do."
Brett Favre not excited about when they got Rodgers?
No, he was not.
No,
Yeah.
he wasn't at all.
So I feel like this is, history's just going to repeat itself again.
He also vowed that he would never do the same thing that Brett Favre did to him.
Right.
And then Jordan Love came around.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I'm just waiting for Aaron Rodgers to retire
like
and play
the
for
way
the
the
Vikings at
Packers
this point.
did.
We're already almost there.
Right.
Yeah, you guys are, especially since
The
Kirk
timeline works
Cousins
out because, like, you know,
is leaving.
we're going to cut Cousins loose eventually. Aaron Rodgers is close to
I think
retiring.
you're keeping Cousins until he retires.
I don't think so. I think Cousins is gone next season.
Yeah, the new coach isn't too keen on keeping him.
Cousins is
Oh,
going
that
to be
is true. New regime. It's gonna.
Cousins is going to be 39 at the end of his contract, and
Yeah.
I mean he hasn't done anything. So why would they keep him when he's going to ask for more? So
I don't know. If you could sign him to a team-friendly deal, then just like wait out like somebody good.
Yeah, it's tough to do, especially where the Vikings are. But to wrap this up real quick, unless anybody has other thoughts, Jordan Love is the key piece in this deal. The Packers win this trade if Jordan Love pans out. That's it.
We love that word.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because nothing's certain in sports until
Right.
it happens. You know, nothing. You can never say this is 100% going to happen because anything can happen.
I have a different if than you though.
Okay.
I think my if is because I think that the Green Bay Packers general manager and how they do picks, they're horrible at it and they don't listen to their players. So I think it's more what they do with the picks than Jordan Love.
How they manage that team.
Yeah, because Jordan Love could be the next Aaron Rodgers, but we saw what happened. Aaron Rodgers should have won more than one championship with that Packers team. And I'm not even remotely blaming Aaron because there were times when he did everything and they still lost.
There
So
were some pretty bad beats in there.
yeah. So it's just I just don't trust them at all to do anything with a good quarterback. It's like it seems like
You
the
could knock him down for one Super Bowl every 15 years
I mean,
with their elite quarterback.
it's like the NFL gods just bestow upon Green Bay with an elite quarterback every single time one leaves, and then they just mess it up.
Yep, they've had 30 years of elite quarterback play,
Yeah,
2 Super Bowls.
yeah, it's insane.
It's
Yeah.
disappointing.
It's very disappointing.
I mean, in comparison, we had 20
Don't
years
talk
of,
to me about disappointment.
we had 20 years of good Tom Brady play and
8 Super Bowls.
8 Super Bowls. So
Yeah,
Oh well,
unfortunate.
it's just what happens. Anyway, let's move on to the mock draft.
Yeah, speaking of what ifs.
What we're going to do for this, I'm going to read through my top 10. Any of you stop me when you think I've made a mistake.
wait. So are we just going based
me
off
and
of
Peter are gonna get
yours?
stopped non-stop. This is going to be awful,
Yeah.
Peter.
I'm going to do my top 10.
Should we all do our top?
We're all
10?
going to do our top 10.
Okay.
So he's just going to go top 10 alone. Then
But-
Shane's going to go top
yeah.
10 alone. Then you then
Gotcha.
me. And then we'll probably
Uh,
just do like
Because
So-
I've told you
before-
some of my top 10, and that would be I'd be
This is gonna
stopping
be-
you a bunch.
this.
Wait,
is gonna be fun.
so before we start, I want to ask you guys, how do you guys do your mock draft? Do you do it based off what you would do if you were in the team's position, or what do you think is going to happen? Because those are two very different philosophies when doing mock drafts.
I did it based on a mixture of looked at the team, tried to find their weakness, tried to think about what would be a good fit for that team in that one. And that's how I did it. I was like, a little bit of if I was that team and these are my needs, that's what I would want.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I did it essentially what I've heard in the grapevine, and as well as I'm going to
I
be
can't
honest.
wait for yours. I'm so excited for
It-
yours.
uh,
I can't wait for Jeremy's reaction.
I'm going to be completely honest as well. I always think that the teams are going to make the worst pick they possibly can, because it's like they are blind when watching tape sometimes. So
I did mine what I would do if I was that GM for every team.
well, that's not a good idea because you're probably better than most of the GMs.
Well, that'd be
I mean, I know you're better than the Lions GM, so
I think collectively, the three of us, as one GM, we could make a fantastic team.
yeah.
yeah.
All right, but
So, without further ado, this is my top 10. Number 1 pick to the Panthers, Bryce Young.
all right,
Yeah?
yeah, sounds good to me.
Number 2, and this is where it goes from what I've heard to what it should be, because all the reports are they're not taking a quarterback.
Yep.
But if I'm the Texans, I cannot pass up on an opportunity to take a quarterback. I'm taking CJ Stroud at 2. Now,
Interesting.
Now, if they do not take a quarterback here, ignore the rest of my draft. Quite literally, the rest of it is scrapped if they don't take a quarterback. Because then there will be a trade at 3 with the Cardinals. Some team will trade with the Cardinals if a quarterback is not taken.
Yeah.
Quarterback is taken. Cardinals take Will Anderson at 3. Colts, Anthony Richardson at 4. Seahawks have a falling Jalen Carter fall right in their laps. Take him at 5. Number 6, I've got the Lions taking Tyree Wilson. Raiders taking Christian Gonzalez. Falcons taking Devin Witherspoon. Bears taking Paris Johnson Jr. And the Eagles finishing out the top 10 with Bijan Robinson.
I like that number 10 pick. I think you're very right on number 10. If they don't trade it. I think it's either a trade or
they could trade it. Yeah, the Eagles are a team without a lot of needs.
Yeah, except for running back. And, I mean, even Jason Kelsey, who's like...
It's just because he's going to retire soon. That's it. That's the only reason they need a center.
You said Bijan Robinson.
He's a running back. Yeah.
That's the only other pick they would make.
Well, no, I'm saying that even Jason Kelsey is really high on Bijan Robinson. So I feel like they're going to listen to him there and take him if they don't trade the pick.
Yeah.
Oh, and Bijan said yesterday that if he was going to play with any quarterback in the NFL, it'd be Jalen Hurts.
Yep.
So
we'll see.
Shane.
That's my top 10. Yeah.
So for me, I have number 1, I have the Panthers drafting Bryce Young. Number 2, I have the Texans drafting C.J. Stroud. Number 3, Will Anderson. So same top 3. And same top 4, Anthony Richardson to the Colts. Then I have Jalen Carter to the Seahawks. Then I have Will Levis to the Detroit Lions.
Really?
I just figured...
I'd be okay with it.
I'd love it.
I'm just figuring, like...
No, keep going.
If you... Quarterback's there, might as well take one, you know, with quarterbacks...
If it's there and you're the Lions,
Yeah.
I mean, there's been rumors with the Lions, especially with Jared Goff getting a huge contract next year, that they may take a quarterback at 7. So
yeah, I think it's good. Have him sit behind a veteran, let him learn under him. It doesn't hurt.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then Raiders, Christian Gonzalez. At number 8, Tyree Williams to the Falcons. Number 9, Chicago Bears take Peter
Skoronski.
Got to protect your investment in Justin Fields.
Yep.
And then Eagles, Bijan Robinson, just because their only glaring need is like a running back. It's not even that bad of a need, and you have a talented one right there. Might as well pick him up.
I like it. That's a good top 10.
Well, it's very similar to yours.
It's very similar. But there's a couple things in there that I think it's very good. Good top 10.
All right. Me and Peter just played rock, paper, scissors, and I lost, so it's me. With the number 1 pick, I have the Panthers selecting Bryce Young.
Mm-hmm.
With the number 2, I have the Texans selecting Will Anderson. At number 3, I have the Cardinals selecting Tyree Wilson. At number 4, I have the Colts selecting Will Levis. At number 5, I have Seahawks selecting Jalen Carter. No-brainer. Number 6, I have the Lions selecting Devin Witherspoon. At number 7, I have the Raiders selecting Paris Johnson. Number 8, I have the Falcons selecting Peter Skoronski. Number 9, I have the Bears pick as Lucas Van Ness.
Whoa.
I like it.
At number 10, I have the Eagles selecting Christian Gonzalez. If Christian falls that far, I could see it.
I could too, if he falls that far.
Eagles love them some corners.
They have 2 really good corners.
I think
a team would trade with the Eagles if he fell that far.
Who'd you have for the Raiders?
Paris Johnson.
Offensive tackle.
Gotcha.
Offensive line.
Out of the Ohio State University.
Yes. Should.
Yep.
You want me to do my 11 and 12? Because you're going to hate this.
No, we'll get there in a second.
Okay.
I want to hear Peter's top 10.
All right.
Let's get ready for Stop Central.
I think
first
your top
Metro
10,
stop.
So
I think your top 10 is very close to what it would be if the Texans didn't draft a quarterback.
Yeah.
All right. So, I'm not even going to caveat it. I was going to caveat it.
Nope, don't.
I'm just going to
just
go right
jump right
into
in.
it.
This is going to be Stop Central.
Number 1, Will Levis.
What?
Okay.
Yep.
I like it.
I
No.
I believe it.
There's a huge rumor going around that, first of all, the...
Are you basing this off of the Reddit post?
No, I'm not basing it off of the Reddit post. That did contribute to it, but it's not completely off of that. The Reddit post, to give some context, there was a Reddit post that was made by a random user who quite literally made his account like a week prior, saying, just as an FYI, Will Levis is telling his friends and family that he's going to Carolina at 1. This changed all of Vegas's odds from plus 4,000 to plus 400 in the course of an hour or two. In fact, people were getting offered times 5 to times 8 payouts just to take their money back. Because clearly, if it ended up being true, they'd get a times 40 payout. And I'm going to be completely honest, I don't know this for certain. So to avoid liability, this is just a possibility. It's quite possible this is someone who bet on that plus 4,000 odds and then lied about it.
That's what I think is going to happen. I think that's what it is.
But I also remember that at one point during the college football season, the Panthers owner loved Will Levis. It was like insane how much he loved Will Levis. It was essentially like, I only want Will Levis. Will Levis also scored very high on his S2 test. He was the second highest. Bryce Young had a 98. He had a 97. And on top of that, I think that Will Levis is being underrated. I think he got pushed down because of the combine. And honestly, I think there's a very good shot that a team like the Panthers that never makes the right pick will pick a player like Will Levis.
There's a lot
it.
there. You're right. I think it's a huge smokescreen.
Oh, I do too.
And if there wasn't a Bryce Young, I think they take him. Because the difference
I
is...
still think there's a chance that they take him.
I think that they like a big quarterback.
Frank Reich famously loves his tall quarterbacks.
That's
he loves those
reason.
tall quarterbacks with that stereotypical, prototypical build that they want. But, I mean,
everyone is calling Will Levis the Walmart Josh Allen. But what happened if he's not? What happened if he's just the next Josh Allen?
You're not going to have another Josh Allen that close.
You definitely could, based on how much, we're seeing more and more players getting better and better.
I think if you're going to take a risk on a quarterback, you take a risk on Anthony Richardson.
I don't think so. I think he's too small. As in, like Skinny was.
I didn't have C.J. Stroud or Anthony Richardson in my top 10.
Yeah, I could definitely see C.J. Stroud falling very far.
I could see him dropping quick.
Especially since C.J. Stroud recently said within a few hours ago, I'm not a test taker, I'm a football player, which is the worst response you could have given, because the S2 owner, like the person who made the test, bailed him out, said, oh, well, one of them, he had to do it after a lot of interviews and it was like midnight. He was probably really tired. And then you essentially just said, oh, yeah, I did horrible.
I suck at taking tests.
Yeah. No. So, moving on. Number 2, Houston Texans, Bryce Young. It falls right into their lap. That's the guy.
If Bryce Young is at 2, that's
it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. It Will Anderson Jr. will be passed by the Texans, and it will be Bryce Young.
Yeah. Cardinals, Will Anderson Jr. I 100% believe that this will be a trade. If what I'm seeing here is happening, I 100% believe the Cardinals will get more picks. But I didn't want to do trades. It's just more annoying. But if I'll do a caveat, I think that the trade will be with the Patriots, and the Patriots will take a quarterback to get rid of Mac Jones.
Dang.
I'd believe it.
So number 4, I have Colts taking C.J. Stroud. Number 5, Seahawks go with potential instead of right now with Tyree Wilson. 6, and this was probably greedy. The Lions take Jalen Carter. I just want him, man.
And why wouldn't you?
Yeah. 7, I actually have Devin Witherspoon going before Gonzalez.
It's
I
fine.
have that too.
And
I like Witherspoon more than Gonzalez.
Yeah, I do too.
But that one, I was like, I
think it's
I
either
just
way.
get that
Yeah,
feeling
I
that
have Rivers
Gonzalez
at
is going to
6
go
and
first.
Gonzalez at 10.
Yeah, I think it's either way with those two. Then 8, we go back-to-back cornerbacks with Gonzalez to Falcons.
Mhm.
Help round out their defense. 9, I completely agree with Shane. Peter Skronsky. They need an offensive line for this.
Oh, I agree. I
They
just
need them.
I think Justin Fields is going to convince them to get Ohio State guy over.
Wide receiver?
No,
No.
Paris Johnson.
Harris Johnson? Okay. I mean, yeah, but let's be honest.
I mean, it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't
either.
really matter. No,
They
Either
need
way,
offensive.
they're going to
they
get an
need
offensive line there. As long as
horrible.
The only
Jalen.
reason I didn't have them taking offensive line is because I had Raiders and Falcons back to back taking the best O linemen in this draft.
So, and then
that was my
10,
issue.
10, I agree with you two, with Bijan Robinson. The only way I don't think they draft Bijan is trade. Like, they trade away.
Or if one of those two main corners.
Or if one of those two main corners is still
It's
there.
just
I completely
sitting
agree. If Gonzalez is still there, they take him.
Yeah.
Because
I love Bijan, don't get me wrong, but
Bijan could be someone really special.
yeah.
So,
But we've seen the historic life of running backs recently.
yeah, it's really unfortunate. They
It's-
run them until they get done, and then
Yeah, and so that's why I think if Gonzalez is there, I think it's a solid pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to be wrong. I don't want the Panthers to draft Will Levis.
If you were the GM, what would you do at 1?
I'd trade it.
Really?
After just acquiring it.
Yeah,
I mean,
No, I would.
yeah,
game day
They
trade,
gave
they
up
make it
so
fit.
much.
I would trade it. I mean, we are seeing more and more that Bryce Young may not be that guy. And so why not just trade down a little bit? You could get some of your stuff back. You could get more because it's draft day.
What if the Seahawks really like somebody?
Yeah, what happened to the Seahawks? I mean, I've seen a lot
What
of
if they
things.
really want Will Anderson Jr. and they have that 5 and 20 pick?
I've seen some things where Seahawks take a quarterback.
yeah, I've seen a lot of mocks where they
Yeah.
grab Richardson,
They grab
and I
Richardson.
think if Richardson's still on the board at 5, they will take him.
But I mean, if they're afraid of somebody taking it, if I'm
Yeah.
the Panthers, I'd give a quick little call to the Seahawks and be like, hey, 5 and 20 for the first?
I think it's more realistic if there's going to be a trade for that number 1, it's gonna be with the Texans because the Texans want
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young.
You also have to remember, and another thing why I think if they don't get that first pick, and Bryce Young is off of the board, why they will always pick Will Anderson, is because look at who their new head coach is. DeMeco Ryan. DeMeco Ryan is a defense guy. He wants to build out that defense. And let's be honest, you can throw a dart on that team and you're going to hit no matter what because that team's horrible. So you got to fill out the defense. You got to fill out the offense. You don't have a choice.
The only bright spot they have is Petrie.
And Dameon Pierce.
Well, yeah, Dameon Pierce got hurt at the end of the season, though, which...
Yeah, so we got to see how he comes back from that.
Yeah, but I forget his name, Petrie. He's a safety. I forget his first name.
And-
He's really good for the Texans.
And,
which is weird.
biggest contract for the tackle?
O-line, Laramie Thompson.
Yeah, he's pretty good as well.
He's very good.
He went
So-
from being the highest O-lineman to the highest paid O-lineman.
He's not even their offensive line isn't even that bad, honestly.
No, it's great.
I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that
I
far.
love Laramie Thompson.
I'm
You
not
can't
talking
get
about
gonna-
Laramie Tunsil. I'm talking about the whole offensive line.
I'm going to be completely honest. We have to see how good their offensive line is when there's an actual competent quarterback behind it. Because part of what today's NFL is a quarterback being able to get out of the pocket and give that O-line more time to recenter and block. And
They
let's be
are
honest.
really good with the run.
yeah,
They were a run it down your throat team last year, and it was the only thing they could competently do.
I want to say this now. If the Texans take Will Anderson Jr. at 2, they are still drafting a quarterback in the first. It may not be with their next pick, but they will trade for one and they'll take someone. They have to. There's no way that they're keeping their current quarterback.
Who do you have at 11?
I've got Will Levis at 11 to the Titans.
Who do you have, Shane?
I have Paris Johnson.
Okay. Who do you have?
Richardson.
I have Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
I have Anthony Richardson going to Tennessee.
I think the Titans are scared because of Will Levis to take another project quarterback. Another athletic project quarterback. You know, like
Malik Willis.
Malik
Mhm.
Willis.
Yeah.
Like
They're scared
Anthony.
of Malik Willis.
They're scared of
scared of
Malik
Malik
Willis
Willis.
happening again.
There we go.
Well, at least it was only
Because
what was he?
You said
third?
Will Levis.
Yeah, you
I
said-
know I said. Did I say Will Levis?
You said
You
Will
said Will
Levis.
Levis.
You're scared. They're scared of Will Levis.
They are
Oh.
scared of Will Levis, therefore they are taking him.
Yeah.
They're scared of another guy turning into
Please just. We'll take you.
Please, sir.
turning
12.
into Malik Willis. So that's why I don't think they're taking Anthony Richardson.
12.
12. JSN.
Shane.
Witherspoon.
Jason.
I have CJ Stroud. Falling all the way to 12.
If he falls to 12 and the Texans can pick him up there, I mean, hey, that's
That'd
I
be
believe
yeah.
that's good
With
for
how
them.
recent his draft stock's falling, I can see him at 12. Packers.
Wide receiver here.
I have
Yeah.
JSN.
I have.
I have him here as the final middle finger to Aaron Rodgers.
See, I don't have the Packers taking a wide receiver.
Really?
I have him taking who's JSN?
Jackson
Jackson.
Smith and Jigba.
Oh, I have Quentin Johnson.
That's also
So,
really good.
yeah.
How did you get Quinn Johnson from JSN?
No,
He was just trying to figure out what,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
what
yeah.
the equivalent was, because
So
we're saying JSN because we're not saying Jackson Smith.
And Jigba.
I was
Yeah.
between two players for the Packers, and one was a wide receiver. I had them taking Zach Flowers at first,
Oh,
and but now I have them taking Lucas Von Ness. And that,
if he's there, I can believe it.
yeah, I
But
think that
I have Lucas at 9,
Fair.
just because I had Raiders and Falcons taking the two best
Mhm.
offensive linemen. I don't have the next lineman going until 16 with the Commanders.
I've got Brian Branch, safety. Out
For
of Alabama. Nope, for the
Wow.
Packers.
Oh, for Packers. Oh.
Guess where I have Brian Branch in my first round?
Where's that?
I think that he falls all the way to 32.
32nd.
There's no 32.
32. Well, I have 32 on my list.
Oh, the Dolphins got their pick taken away, so it goes to
Yeah,
31.
I have 32 Steelers.
Oh, because
first
they
pick
got
in
the first
second
pick in the second round.
Yeah.
round. Yeah,
Ah,
that'll do it. They should just relegate that pick to the first round.
no, they shouldn't.
It's the equivalent.
Pay structure.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
That's
But
fair. Patriots.
oh, we should also say this. Well, I should say this. I could 100% see the Raiders taking the quarterback at 7. There's no way that they're confident with Jimmy G in the long term. I refuse. There's a good shot that they take a quarterback.
I was just
at
going to
7.
get us through the top 15, and then I was going to have us go to our individual teams.
Yeah, gotcha.
Patriots.
Peter Skoronski, offensive tackle.
Fair.
Yeah.
Shane.
I have Deontay Banks, cornerback.
I got Paris Johnson, offensive tackle.
Okay, so we went offensive lines and then cornerbacks. I said Joey Porter Jr.
I love Joey Porter Jr.
Yeah.
I think that's a great place for him to go. 15 with the Jets. I said they immediately bolster an O-line. I said Darnell Wright.
Got Broderick Jones. I don't like Darnell Wright, actually, at all.
Same reason. I have Darnell Jones.
I got
Darnell Jones.
I got
I mean, I have to-
Broderick Jones.
Broderick Jones.
Yeah, I don't like Darnell
I
Wright.
saw someone named Darnell. and
I've
then-
got Broderick Jones too.
Yeah.
16. Probably a little bit of greed here. I'm going with so this is my team. I
Mhm.
chose Commanders to talk about.
Mhm.
For 16, I had Commanders taking Broderick Jones. Probably a little bit of greed. So the Commanders, their O-line's starting to get a little bit older with long-term thought in mind.
Mhm.
Both Andrew Wiley's going to be 29, almost 30. And then Charles Leno will be 31, almost 32. So they aren't really long-term solutions. And so they claim to be moving forward with Sam Howell. And so if they want to give him the best chance, they need to be picking up some big, powerful blocker who can slow down some of this pass rush from the NFC East. The Eagles have a pretty strong pass rush. Giants are starting to build one. Dallas is consistently okay with pass rush. Sometimes they just pull out random stats of just being amazing. So, what?
I don't know. Jeremy just looked at me, so
Oh, okay.
I was making faces at him.
Gotcha. And so I said Jones is just a powerful tackle who can add some flexibility to the O-line.
Mm-hmm.
And that O-line was not great during the 2022 campaign.
And that would be great, especially with their new quarterback that they're like is their future.
And
So
they claim to be moving forward with him, and so
Yeah.
I think the best way to help him is the wide receiver room already looks decent enough. I think that you can just add some offensive line depth, add some help out there. He doesn't have to stay tackle. I'm sure he can move to guard. I'm sure he would be like, not my place, but like, I'm sure he'd be fine with it. And it would just be great. It would add some depth to that team that is really looking thin on offensive line.
I've got the Commanders taking Deontay Banks from Maryland, cornerback.
Oh, Joey Porter.
First of all, I think it's a toss-up between him and Joey Porter. But the reason I have them taking Deontay Banks is because he played at Maryland, and
Fair.
I know that's kind of like a thing a lot of times,
Fair.
picking a guy from
Kenny
a nearby college.
Kenny Pickett
to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Especially
Panthers last year.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm only gonna pick you because you went to Maryland, but it's definitely like in a
helps.
tie-up factor. Like I think this is. Because they need corner badly.
It also just helps a player get situated faster.
Yeah,
Which
so
is what they want. So
I have them taking Banks here over Porter Jr. simply because he went to Maryland and not Penn State.
honestly, I may agree with you. I have Joey Porter and then Steelers taking Deontay Banks. I had them flip-flopping, so either way. So
Who did you have the Commanders taking, Shane?
Van Ness.
Oh, okay.
mm.
I'd be happy with that pick.
Because it's like they gotta find someone to replace Bryce
I did
Young
tell
now. So.
a couple of people that I would root for the Commanders in the event that the team is sold. The team, in principle,
Has been sold.
that was
Yeah.
sold.
has been sold. So, unfortunately, Peter, I will not be joining you with the Lions.
That's all right. I don't blame you.
I will be rooting for my home team for once, mostly because I cannot root for the Browns anymore. They make me mad. They drive me crazy. And I used to be a Falcons fan, and they make me mad. They drive me crazy.
A little off topic, but funniest part about the sale of the Commanders is how the owners are actually really mad that Dan Snyder sold it because of how little he sold it for.
7 billion? 6 billion?
$6
$6
billion. They were like, a bunch said you could have gotten 10,
He definitely could have gotten 10.
and so
But he needed to run. I think the law is about to come down on him.
yeah. Well, he has to get to that London house.
Yeah, he-
No, I legit think the law is about to come down on him because
Well-
of all the tax fraud he's done.
Yeah.
Well, let's just say right here, this is alleged.
This is not for sure information.
Yeah, because let's be completely honest,
The
if
government
there's
did a
anyone
whole
who's gonna,
Speculation.
and if there's anyone who may sue, it'd be Dan Snyder.
Oh yeah.
Turn around.
So,
Just turn around. There you go. Right there.
so do we want to go to our individual teams now?
Yeah,
I
so
just
that
did
was
mine.
his. That was the Commanders. 2 picks later, we have the Lions. Peter, your team, at pick 18.
Yep.
Who do you have the Lions grabbing there?
I have 2 players that I could see happening there. I think the Lions are going to fill out their defense in this first round. I think that makes the most sense. The Lions had the worst defense in all of the NFL this past year. I mean, they scored the most points and yet lost and didn't make the playoffs because of their defense. So I have either Nolan Smith going or Emmanuel Forbes. So
I also had Nolan Smith going to Detroit, and then right after, I had Brian Branch going to the Buccaneers. I don't know how good your safeties are, but he's right there if you would want to go to secondary.
we just lost a safety, but he wasn't that great. But he's suspended for the rest of the year, so I could believe that they take Brian Branch.
I've got him taking Joey Porter at 18.
Really?
Corner.
I have the Steelers taking a cornerback, so that's why I didn't have.
Yeah. I have the Steelers taking Kalijah
Right.
Kancey.
I have Steelers taking Brian Branch, and I have the Lions going offense.
Who do you
I
have?
think you're dead wrong.
I have the Lions taking Bijan Robinson.
Oh, I mean that would be incredible. I think I'd take that with open
I
arms.
have
They trade Swift and we get Bijan, 100%.
I have them taking Bijan Robinson.
I think that's like the last thing that team needs.
I will. This is one. Okay, trade rumors are the only time where rumors actually are like rumors. Most of them aren't true. But apparently, a lot of teams are asking about Swift before the draft. So
It's a non-story. It really is.
I know it's the same old story, but I think Lions have to fill out defense, and the reason why I think there's a good shot it's a cornerback is because they trade away Jeff Okuda.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So I could definitely see them pulling up and getting a cornerback there.
Yeah, I think their biggest need in this draft is actually corner.
But they're not going to pass up on
They're
Jalen
not going
Carter
to
or
pass up
Tyree Wilson.
on Jalen Carter or Tyree Wilson.
It's just that would be insane for them
Yeah.
to do that.
They're going to pair.
Unless, except in Caleb's case where they get a quarterback. Which, once again, I want them to get a quarterback. I just know
Quarterback, I got running back.
Oh, wait.
They can draft.
No, didn't you have
At pick
quarterback
6, didn't you have them taking a quarterback?
At 6, I have them getting Devin Witherspoon.
Right.
Oh.
Oh,
I
so
have them addressing defense first.
Okay, they got a
I have
corner.
Bijan falling all the way to 18 and just falling into the lap of the Lions.
I think they can pick up a guy like, I know Jake Hayner's gotten a lot of love recently. They can pick up a guy like him in, I don't know, 2nd or 3rd round.
Yep.
I think they'll be set. The Lions aren't in a spot where they need a quarterback in the 1st round.
Dude, I can't wait to talk about Vikings. I'm going to be yelled at.
So, yeah, I have them taking Joey Porter Jr. there.
Yeah. I just know that they have to get a cornerback at some point.
Yes.
So, and this is a good cornerback draft. I mean, look at this first round.
There's 4 really good corners.
There's really good corners in this draft.
There's 5 there's another 2 or 3 outside of the top 4 that I think could turn into really quality starters.
There's a lot of sleepers in this draft.
Yeah.
If you ask me the top ones, you're gonna talk about Deontay Banks, Joey Porter, Christian Gonzalez, and Devin Witherspoon.
Yeah.
Somebody who's very fringe and I'm really high on. Jeremy might not be so high on him, but I'm really high on is Keely Ringo. I like Ringo. He's a little aggressive at times. I think he could tone back a little bit.
I'm a bigger fan of Forbes.
Forbes is also a really good choice.
Yeah.
Keely, Ringo, and Forbes are both like fringe, but like if they develop at all, they could be really good.
Yeah.
I have Forbes at the end of the 1st. I've got 5 corners going in the 1st round.
Speaking of corners, I think this is a good time to talk about who the Minnesota Vikings are going to pick.
Oh, I can't wait to say what mine is for this.
Yeah.
For it.
I feel like we've needed a corner for the past 5 years, and they just never pan out for whatever reason. So it's like, I don't care. Just, I have Joey Porter available. There's Cam Smith. There's Forbes. Just take one of them, please, for the love of God, Minnesota, and hope to God they turn out. Our defense is god-awful. We're kind of like the Lions, where our defense can't do anything, and our offense finds a way to bail us out.
Yeah.
The only thing the Vikings defense was good at was turnovers, but that you can't rely on that. And if we don't take a corner, at least take an offensive line. I don't know, but we need a corner.
I don't remember who you picked.
Oh, mine's madness.
I've got Jordan Addison going to the Vikings at 23, wide receiver out of, I believe, USC.
I think that's a good pick.
That's a good one.
Jordan Addison, speed guy. They just lost Adam Thielen. You need a guy on the outside because KJ Osborne is a slot receiver.
Mm-hmm.
You obviously have Jefferson. If you have a guy that can create a lot of space.
Yeah, you definitely got Jefferson.
Yeah, you obviously have him.
The only thing that keeps
They picked up his 5th-year option like yesterday.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I would too.
it was a tough decision.
Oh yeah, really, really tough.
And, Joe Burrow also got his 5th-year option
which
picked
they
up.
explicitly said to all their fans. Just as an FYI, guys, we're doing a longer term contract. We're not just doing like a 5-year. Like we're gonna give him a lot of money.
But yeah, Jordan Addison, I think as long as he's a number 2 guy in an offense, he's gonna have a really, really good career. I don't think he's got that number 1 type.
Yeah, both of
When he was on the Vikings, he won't need to.
Exactly.
Okay, well, mine will probably get me yelled at as well. I already know that Shane is not going to like this pick. I have a strong feeling that the Vikings are going to take Hendon Hooker.
Yes!
I have a really strong feeling that they're going to take Hendon Hooker.
I have 2 possible picks for Vikings here, both on offense. Quarterback Hendon Hooker.
Yeah.
Or Quentin Johnston. Wide receiver.
I've got him going a pick before to the Ravens.
I think we all know that the Ravens are taking a wide receiver.
I've got Johnson going to the Ravens at 22.
I have Flowers there.
Yeah,
That's a good pick too.
that's a good pick.
I've
I
got
have Miles
got
Murphy, I
Flowers
just
at
think
21,
it's a nice pick
so
for
I got to
the
run on
Yeah.
receivers there.
I really think it's Hendon Hooker. I mean,
I think I like
So I haven't heard anything about this guy.
Ooh,
Like,
okay, Hendon Hooker.
glass cannon.
He is a quarterback
Very
from
much so.
Tennessee. I don't know if you remember Tennessee being very good last season.
I thought they weren't.
They were very good.
they were
They
good.
were
They were
really
the
good.
team that beat Alabama.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
yeah,
destroyed
yeah.
their fields and
Yeah.
threw
Yeah.
the goalposts in the river and all
Yeah, I
that.
remember
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Very good team. Hendon Hooker tore his ACL the next week against South
Oh.
Carolina.
Yep.
Hendon Hooker also is a very old prospect.
25.
He is 20. I was going to say
20
26. I think he's
4
26.
or 25. No, he's 24 or 25. Because, no, he's 24 or 25.
He's probably 25
Hendon Hooker
then.
at his age when he is drafted will be 25.
Yep.
What about the start of the season? Is it going to be
25 still? I think it was December. When-
Hendon Hooker is freshly 25.
okay?
Yeah.
So he's 25. He's an older prospect coming off a torn ACL. The one issue, he's got the arm strength.
Oh, he's got the arm.
definitely has the arm.
He's
strength.
very good at playing in the play. Once the play breaks down, he's in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah.
He has no pocket mobility. You remember how I was complaining about Billy Atkins, the JMU guy who just
Yeah.
stood there? He's like that. He just kind of
But
stands
he's a
there.
little bit better than Billy.
He's like a statue. He takes the snap. He doesn't even bounce. He just
Yeah.
Okay,
stands there.
no hate to JMU for a second. He's a lot better than Billy.
Yes, I'm just. I'm
Billy-
I
talking.
just mean like pocket.
Billy
I'm
throws
talking-
to the other team.
I'm
I
talking.
mean
I'm
pocket
talking
guy.
solely about pocket mobility. That is the only thing I'm comparing it to. It's solely the pocket mobility, and you know how much of a thing it is with me about pocket mobility.
Yeah.
He has all
That
of the
was reason
tools
I
and the
recreated
traits.
29, 30, and
He
31.
just needs to know how to move,
Was because
and
of
when the
that.
play breaks down, he needs to be able to make those decisions.
Yeah.
He could turn into something really good, but he is coming off of an ACL. It's a risky pick,
It's a risky
I
pick.
love it.
but if
If I'm the
he
Vikings,
sits
I love it.
behind a guy like Kirk Cousins, or maybe not Kirk Cousins, he's not going to teach him how to move.
Kirk
but-
Cousins is
Yeah, I was
gonna
like
teach
gonna
him how to
say
do
Kirk
anything.
Cousins.
But he
is
needs
not
he
the-
needs a little bit of accuracy, and I think Kirk Cousins has got a little bit of accuracy.
I think his biggest thing is if he learns how to move in the pocket, he'll be good. That's a really tough thing to teach, getting people out of the play and getting them to move and feel the pressure. That's like an innate thing when you're playing.
There's also a very strong trend of Hendon Hooker going to the Vikings because the Vikings do not want to pay Kirk Cousins.
And I don't hate it. Like I said,
Yeah.
I just said a lot of like mixed things about him because he truly is a 50-50 prospect.
So I would say if we're going for like future needs, I would understand the pick.
If any of the big
Yeah.
four quarterbacks have somehow fallen to 20,
There's no way.
well, somehow, if
Hypothetically.
we love the word if on the show.
Right before the draft,
Right,
it's
yeah.
revealed that like Bryce Young, like
If one of the big four has fallen, I really want Vikings to draft here. I even think Vikings taking Hendon Hooker here is a great pick. I have Hendon Hooker either going 23 or 30, but not to the Eagles. I have the Raiders taking the Eagles pick and taking Hendon Hooker. I think either way, that's how he gets drafted in the first round. Either that or he's a second round steal for somebody.
Yeah. I'm more in like win now mode. I like look for a quarterback later. Please fix.
You
Like
can't win with Cousins.
we have like
I'm sorry.
no cornerbacks, and it's just like you can't win without like I'm sick and tired of seeing this defense suck.
Yeah.
So it's just like please, and we have like no corners, and all our corners usually get injured. Like our first round pick
Well,
from
you
or
guys forgot
last
that I
year
Had
got
Vikings
injured.
taking
So
corner.
I would
did.
like a corner. I wouldn't mind another wide receiver. Offensive line would also be great, but it's just I'm more of in a win now mode. But I do understand the quarterback pick.
Yeah.
I just don't think you can win with Kirk Cousins.
I don't think you can get all the way to the Super Bowl with Kirk.
He's gonna mess it up along the
He'll
way.
make it. I can see him winning a wild card game and then losing.
If the Vikings have an elite defense,
If he's ever at 500, just always bet that he's gonna lose. He's never won a game when he's at that 500 mark. So, just
Anyway.
as a reminder.
last pick before we finish our mock draft segment.
Okay,
New York Giants.
fair.
I have the Giants. Now, my dream scenario is they make out like bandits with a guy like Joey Porter Jr., That was
and
my
make out like
dream.
bandits, and Jalen Carter falls all the way down.
That was
is
my
not
dream.
gonna happen.
Falling when I was making this draft, I was like, how can I make either Deontay Banks or Joey Porter fall to 25, and I couldn't make that happen.
You can't.
So the biggest need for the Giants
Mhm.
and who I have them taking, John Michael Schmitz, center from Minnesota, I believe. They're two centers. One's from Wisconsin, one's from Minnesota. I didn't write down the college. I think this is the one from Minnesota. He's very good. The Giants currently do not have a center on their roster.
They don't need a center with that Daniel Jones contract. He said he would play both.
They need a center, and Minnesota, very good at pushing out offensive
Wait,
linemen.
you guys could get Ezekiel Elliott. He hasn't gotten a team yet.
Oh, dude,
He's a great center.
he's the best center of all time.
We've all seen that play. He did such a great job against the 49ers.
Yeah.
So I have them taking John Michael Schmitz at 25.
I have you guys getting wide receiver.
Same here.
Which one?
Quentin Johnston.
Why are you sighing? That's a good pick.
No, it's not. I don't like Quentin Johnson.
This guy's crazy.
I'm not a fan.
I think you guys need more wide receivers.
We have like 10 wide receiver twos and Darren Waller.
Keyword is 10 wide receiver twos.
And Darren Waller, who is a wide receiver 1 when he's healthy.
So I had to create a second. I have a couple of lists here. So it's all based off that Vikings pick. If Vikings select Quentin Johnston, I have Jaguars taking Keely Ringo, and then Giants taking Jack Campbell.
Oh, sorry. I'm laughing because, don't worry, Mom. I know you're listening right now. There's apparently potentially a bomb at my apartment right now.
What?
So,
And you're laughing?
yeah, it's kind of funny.
Oh, that's fun.
Okay.
Okay,
But
then.
I had Quentin Johnston, Keely Ringo, and then Giants taking Jack Campbell, linebacker.
They do need a linebacker.
Exactly.
They need a linebacker pretty bad.
And then, if Vikings select Hendon Hooker, I have Jaguars taking Quentin Johnston, and Giants taking Keely Ringo.
Yeah.
I don't hate-
I know you don't like Keely Ringo.
I
know-
don't mind him.
I still think he's a really solid player.
Yeah,
And I
I'd be
think
happy
the
with that
Giants,
pick.
The Giants should address defense. I just don't know whether it's a corner or a linebacker. I would love for them to go offense and get a wide receiver. I just also think that defense, they have a couple of holes. Sure, you've got Kayvon Thibodeau. He's young, but he's pass rush. That's what he's doing. I think a good outside linebacker, good just overall linebacker. That's what Jack Campbell is. He played it all. I think it would be a really solid pick for the Giants to take. Jack Campbell.
I'd be very happy with that.
I had wide receiver. I had Jordan Addison going to the Giants.
I've been
'cause-
seeing that a lot, and I really don't want that.
Well, it's more like because I just saw Giants. What do the Giants need? Oh, I couldn't name a receiver on the Giants. So I'm like, all right, let's get a wide receiver here.
That's fair.
Fun fact: I don't have Addison in the first round.
Yeah, I don't want. I think I wouldn't be happy with Quentin Johnson, but if they took him, I wouldn't be mad. If they took Jordan Addison, I would be a little pissed.
I just gave Jeremy my top 31. I want him to talk about any ones that he doesn't think.
Who'd you have Jordan? I mean, who'd you have the Giants going to getting again?
John Michael Schmitz, center.
Can I
Gotcha.
see your list, Jeremy?
Yeah.
I want to see what's going on here. I'm gonna start looking at other people's lists.
Anyway,
Any of mine that you actually hate?
no, not really.
Okay. The thing is nowhere close to. It's in my apartment complex, but it's not near my apartment.
Good.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
No.
hope everything turns out
I
okay.
think
I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all.
you don't have Kincaid.
I don't have Kincaid. He's hurt. He's coming off like a Achilles or an ACL. I don't remember. It's a major injury. He's
I
coming off
have
of.
Cowboys replacing Dalton Schultz with Dalton Kincaid.
Nah,
I could see it.
nah. They like Mayer.
Everyone likes Mayer though.
All right, hold on. We've reached the top of the hour here on WXJM 88.7 FM, Harrisonburg, Virginia, and WXJM.org. My name is Jeremy Lapidus, host of this Triple Threat Show, joined as always by my three friends and co-hosts.
Shane Brisland.
Peter Kegwin.
And
Too.
thank you so much
I don't
for.
have a last name.
thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, that was our draft. If there's any pick you guys are dying to talk about before we move on, speak now or forever hold your peace.
Bills select a running back, Jahmyr Gibbs.
They just got a running back.
Bills select running
Who did they
back,
get?
Jahmyr
They
Gibbs.
drafted Cook last year, and they signed Damian Harris in the offseason. They also still have Devin Singletary.
Bills select a running back.
They're not taking a running
Gibbs.
back.
I'm interested what you guys have for the Chargers.
That was a really tough pick for me. That's
Deontay
where
Banks.
I ran into issues.
I had JSN going to the Chargers.
I
Ooh,
have them
that would-
taking
Yeah.
Zay Flowers.
That would be fun to watch.
Yeah, I actually have them taking Michael Mayer. Tight end.
Oh. See, I had them going defense. I had them taking. What
I actually had the
over my head.
Bengals going with Gibbs.
What did I touch?
I don't hate it.
Yeah.
I don't think there's going to be a second running back in the first round, but I don't hate it.
Yeah,
but I had
because
them
it's just
taking
like
Deontay
who
Banks.
God knows what's going on with the Mixon situation. They would know better than I am. So I feel like, you could hedge your bets there and like cut him loose and take a very talented running back in
It
Gibbs.
comes off.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that's our mock draft. We will post a picture of all 4 of our mock drafts to Instagram before the draft tomorrow. So go check it out if you want to see the
So it
entire
just
mock
looks at
draft.
mine and just says, fire him now.
I actually really like mine. This one. I think this the one that I read, but I have Vikings taking Winston Johnston in this one. So
Yeah.
So, I honestly, now I want my picks to be right with Will Levis, just so it's hilarious. With the first pick in the 2023 draft,
I think
Panthers select Will Levis.
My entire
I
draft would
absolutely-
be shot if that happened.
So mine would be mostly shot. I think it would even itself out pretty quickly, because then Tyree
You know what?
Wilson would just fall a little bit.
It would probably even out around 5, honestly.
I think it'd even out around 10. Because I
Mine
think a lot
would
of trades
probably
would
get.
happen.
Mine would. Well, see, the issue is if Will Levis is selected, it's going to cause a quarterback frenzy, and my draft's just going to be absolutely destroyed. And that's what happens if they select Will Levis. Is it goes in a quarterback frenzy. Cardinals trade their pick, trade it to somebody like the Raiders or like somebody that wants a quarterback. It's just going to destroy the draft if Will Levis is the first, in my opinion. Because then at 2 it's Bryce Young, then Anthony Richardson, Hendon Hooker, and C.J. Stroud. Their stock goes way up because first 2 picks were quarterbacks. So now Seahawks are definitely looking at one of them. Who's that for?
The Colts.
Colts are definitely taking one of those 3.
Yeah.
I think.
What do you mean? The Colts said that they don't have to take a quarterback. They could take a quarterback now. They could take a quarterback later. They could trade their pick. We
They
have
could.
all the options in the world.
Yeah, Jim Irsay. Megamind.
It's like, wow, thank you for saying what was obvious, sir.
Anyway, we have some playoffs going on.
Yes,
wait,
we do.
in the world of football, Commanders are not picking up on Chase Young's 5th year.
Oh yeah, good.
That's true. They're not.
We were on NFL. I want to stick NFL. Let's finish the NFL news
All right.
before we just
Fair.
run.
It's just why?
Injuries.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
think he has played 1 game.
Yep. And he was getting paid pretty much the entire time, pretty well.
Yeah, he. So he is not getting his 5th year.
I think it's stupid. I think it's stupid that they did that
Yeah, because it's just like
because when he was healthy, he was really good. He was really, really good when he was healthy his rookie season.
Yeah,
I believe he won Defensive Rookie of the Year.
he did.
Yeah.
He got hurt in his 2nd year, had some setbacks in his recovery, and he played like 2 games last year, coming off of injury.
All right.
It hurts you. It only hurts you not to pick up his 5th year, because if he balls, you're gonna have to pay. If he if he doesn't, someone's gonna pick him up, and he might go over there. He might
yeah, because
ball
I'm
out
like, just
over
give
there.
him 1 more year, see what happens, and then you can move on from there.
All right,
like,
Shane,
1 more
you
year is
wanna
not gonna
hear
kill
some,
you.
Some great stats from Hendon Hooker real quickly though. So if the Vikings selected him in just 2 seasons, one of which was cut short with the Volunteers, He threw for 6,000 yards, 58 touchdowns, and only 5 interceptions. He had a 68.8 completion percentage. He had over 1,000 yards rushing and 15 touchdowns on 247 carries. So if I was you, I would not hate a Hendon Hooker pick by the Vikings.
I just never considered it just because I'm very cornerback greedy right now.
That's fair.
It was just reported that most likely the first offensive tackle that will be taken in the draft will be Paris Johnson.
Yeah.
Paris Johnson
So-
at 7.
I've got him. He's my first. I have him at 9, but he's still my first.
I had Peter. at
Yeah, we
9,
we
but,
swapped where we had
Yeah.
Skoronski and Johnson.
but I could see either one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I had Raiders taking Johnson, and then I had Falcons immediately taking Skoronski.
Anyway, playoffs. Sorry, we
Yep.
have like 20 minutes, so I
Let's
want to make
go.
sure we get to the playoffs. We're starting the NBA because there were some eliminations
There
and
sure
some
were.
not eliminations. Start with the ones that got eliminated.
Nets got swept.
Nets got swept.
The surprise of
Under
nobody.
the rug.
Rip the Nets.
Not
Yeah.
Not really rip. They're not going to rest in peace.
Then Phoenix won,
Phoenix, Kawhi Leonard has a torn meniscus.
and he also had a very unfortunate thing that happened with his sister. I thought I said his sister was sentenced to life in prison for murdering someone.
Wow.
He sent it in the chat.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I've been really busy this week.
Yeah, that happened. But the Clippers got eliminated due to injury. That's the main reason. They probably would have lost the series anyway, but it would have been a much more competitive series had Paul George and Kawhi Leonard stayed healthy.
I'm not sure that they would have lost if they had both been healthy, honestly. And then we had the Nuggets finally put the Timberwolves away.
It was much closer, all of those games, than...
Wow. Kind of.
What do you mean, kinda?
Oh yeah, you texted on Saturday.
Yeah. She killed an old woman years ago.
Wow.
And
She
she
just got sentenced?
Yeah. It was 1 or 2 years ago.
Wow.
But I honestly think the Nuggets just weren't trying, to be completely honest. They knew that they were going to win. So, I think that, Jeremy, look at it from this. They were down by 20 in Game 4, only to come back and tie it up to make it go into overtime. And if it wasn't for, whatever his name is, the young guy from...
Anthony Edwards?
Anthony Edwards.
He went off.
If it wasn't for Anthony
Oh.
Edwards going off, it would have been a wrap right then and there. But, and then we should see some eliminations soon.
Yeah, the Hawks won on a buzzer beater last night to not get eliminated, which...
Shout out to the Hawks. They're doing good.
It was kind of dumb. There were a lot of iffy calls down the stretch for the Hawks.
They were prolonging the series.
They shouldn't have won that game,
No.
but they did.
Take what you can as a player, though.
Yeah,
How are the Bucks doing? Let's talk about that.
we're talking about. Do you remember how we said in the last show?
I told you guys about I said I could see the Heat beating the Bucks.
You did say that. But do you remember in the last show how we said Jimmy Butler is a different human being
Yeah,
in the playoffs?
and he is.
And he has shown that.
Even with Giannis missing 2.5 games, or 1.5 games.
1.5.
Yeah, 1.5 games.
Bucks have not looked good.
The Bucks are losing to Jimmy Butler.
And the Heat.
No, just Jimmy Butler.
Yeah. Let's be completely honest here. They found a way. They found a way how to stop Giannis in late. We saw last game. Giannis was just useless.
He had a triple double in the last game.
No, I'm saying late in the.
Oh, late in the game. Yeah, because they were up by
Yeah.
They were up by 10 or 15 with 5 minutes left,
He's
and then
useless late.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because he is the most talented player in the NBA, and they are figuring out how to stop him. And it's because there's a good shot. Well, okay, this is a joke. Jimmy Butler could be the son of Michael Jordan.
I love this conspiracy theory, so it's like my favorite one. I tried explaining it to, was it you or Hayden?
Probably Hayden.
It was Hayden. I was watching basketball and I was like, did you know that he's Michael Jordan's son?
I mean, they do look quite similar when you compare bone structure.
There's a lot of little pieces of evidence, and we're not going to get into it on this program.
The funniest part is when people will go
Let's just have a conspiracy theory day.
Honestly, we have time.
The funniest one is when someone put like a picture overlay over the two of their faces, and they're like, "Can you not see the same thing?"
And there's also the whole thing with like alimony payments to his mom.
Yep.
From mysterious person.
Yeah.
Lining up with Michael Jordan's story apparently. Allegedly.
The Bucks are currently losing 3-1 in the series.
How big, like, an all-time upsets, and like how?
There's never been an 8th seed that's been in a 1-0, I don't think.
No, there's been 3 all time.
That have beaten the 1 seed?
Yes.
Oh.
3 all time. I think they're like 3 and 147 or something like that.
Oh right, the Nets beat the 1 seed one year. I forgot about that. Jason Kidd.
There's only been no 8 seed has ever won the championship.
Well,
there has been an 8 seed that made it to the finals.
I don't think a 7 seed's ever.
A 7 seed might have. No, I don't think they have. No. But an 8 seed made it to the finals once, and besides that, the other 2 8 seeds that won something lost immediately in the next round.
So there's that. Then when it comes to Warriors Kings, wow.
They play well at home.
They play well at home, but now, Jeremy, I think you're eating spicy wings now.
I think
I got worried. I was starting to get a little bit worried, but now that Fox is injured,
yeah, that's the thing. That's the death blow.
2-2. I'd love to see how this plays out.
He's listed as doubtful for tonight.
I'm not concerned.
You're not concerned, Jeremy. I guarantee you.
Sorry, what I mean to say is I'm not as concerned as I think I should be.
I guarantee you, if he does not play tonight when they are at home, they will win. Warriors will win Game 5, and then they're going to win Game 6 at Golden. So
we'll see.
Me and Peter said, home games are going to be the strong suit, and Golden State fans are not to be underestimated.
Yep, and then
it's crazy.
And then Lakers Grizzlies is
brutal.
Brutal
yeah. How? That was something that I meant to stress more when we were doing predictions. That the Lakers are going to eat on the inside. Because
I'm just afraid John Moran is going to get permanently hurt based on what he's doing.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of stupid things, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, for those who don't know, the past game he went in a sensual free fall over LeBron.
Yeah, no, it was down the stretch, and he was like, "I'm going to dunk on LeBron," and then they called a charge on him.
Which it was.
It was a charge, and his knees were at LeBron's neck or something like that.
Yep.
And then it was just a free fall down to that's 8 feet.
And LeBron's not going to catch you when he has a busted foot. And
when LeBron has to catch himself first?
Yeah. And he's 39. LeBron is just he's taking care of himself first. So
yeah, John Moran's doing some stupid stuff.
And it doesn't help.
It's brutal in the sense that John Morant's trying everything and he's just not being remotely safe while trying it.
Yeah, I mean, a bunch of NBA greats have essentially said, if John Morant keeps on doing this, we won't be seeing John Morant much longer in the NBA. Not because he's going to get kicked out.
John Morant would have another season and then he should be out.
Yeah, he's just going to blow every single thing in his body because he's just going to keep on falling down, and eventually the injuries are going to pile up.
It's not pretty.
It's not pretty at all.
So Suns, Clippers, done. Nuggets, Timberwolves, Kings, Warriors.
Denver, Phoenix should be a really good series.
I think Phoenix are going to run away with it. The Nuggets are not built for the playoffs.
Celtics, Hawks. We talked about that. 76ers, Bullets. Did we talk about Cavaliers next?
Nope. I think I was the only one who picked the Knicks.
I can't remember who I had.
I think I might have been the only one that picked the Cavs.
No, I'm pretty sure. Didn't you all pick the? I don't care.
Let me go back to my drive and see what.
Either way, I'm wrong.
Yeah. No, I told you all then. Donovan Mitchell is not meant for the playoffs.
I
just
had
not.
Cleveland in 6.
It's not Donovan Mitchell's fault, though.
It's not completely. I also told you that Julius Randle was going to eat on the inside.
Yeah.
And he has.
I had this could be a toss-up. This series should be decided in 7, and then it says in parentheses choosing spot. So I'd have to go back and listen to the tape.
That tape is long gone.
It's not. It's live on our YouTube page at the Triple Threat Show.
So wherever that is, I need to go listen to it, and I can get back to you on that. So
Yeah, I mean, it's been okay. I'm going to be completely honest. I'm not even going to lie. The NBA playoffs is horrible. You just wait until the NBA championship when it's actually fun again. So I'm just looking forward to the NBA championship because I hate the playoffs every single year.
Was that last week?
Huh? Yeah, last week.
No, 2 weeks ago.
Was it?
Last week was NHL.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Supposedly.
So is that
Speaking of the NHL.
Yeah, NHL playoffs.
We've had a lot of fun series in the NHL.
Yeah. There's so much drama. So first off, I think we should start off with the Toronto Maple Leafs up 3-1 in the series against Tampa. Game 4, they were down 4-1. And in un-Leafs fashion, they came back in overtime with 47 seconds left, scored the game winner. They have the series lead, but we've heard this story before. Remember the last time they were up 3-1 in the series?
I do.
They
Didn't end too well.
went against the Montreal Canadiens, and they proceeded to get Carey priced and lost 3 straight. And then the year before, in the play-in series, they went against the Columbus Blue Jackets. They were in a best-of-5 series. They were up 2-0 and proceeded to lose 3 straight to get eliminated from the play-in. So, do I have any faith in Toronto? No. But could they do it? Yes. They have the talent too, like we say every year. Ryan O'Reilly looks like a fantastic addition. But I just can't put my heart in the Leafs again. I just can't get my heart crushed.
Leafs in 5.
Because I feel like if it gets to the game 7, the Leafs are not winning. I feel like this game is going to be so important to them. Because if they lose this game, I don't think the Leafs are winning this series. Just because it's going to happen again. It's just going to happen in Leafs fashion again.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. But something's different. This is their year. This is the year that the Leafs win the Stanley Cup. What has it been? Like 60 years now?
Oh, it's been long time. I know about 60, but yeah, they haven't won since like the 60s, so.
60 years.
Like 50, almost 60, yeah.
That's crazy. This is their year.
Yep.
It's going to happen.
And then, so for me, just kind of commentating on what I've seen in the series going far. Dallas and Minnesota has been a fun series to watch. Those teams just hate each other. They hit everything that moves. Jake Ottinger seems to really has found his groove. He's looked really good these past 2 games, getting the shutout in the past games. I'm not going to comment too much on the refereeing, because refereeing is only so much of a part of an NHL hockey game. Have there been some questionable calls? Yes, but Minnesota hasn't really answered when they have gotten their chances either. Again, I think it's just the injuries are finally catching up to Minnesota, especially in this brutal series. And I had Dallas winning for a reason. Like, I don't think, being unbiased and all, Dallas is the better team, especially with their best center getting hurt. And it's kind of such a culture shock going from that series to the Kings-Oilers series, because you're talking about 2 really good defensive teams that force you to play on the outside, and then you go to Kings-Oilers, where I'm not sure if those teams are even trying to play defense at this point.
They're not.
Yeah.
We watched that game. That game was the most offensive game that I've ever seen, and that was just really disappointing. And it was really funny because we had a buddy named Joe watching the game with us, and he was just watching this offense mayhem happen. So I don't think either team's playing defense. I think you're right about that.
Yeah. And then Oilers are up 3-2 in that series. I have them going pretty far, so that'll be a fun team to watch for the rest of the playoffs. And then New Jersey, I thought they were dead in the water after losing 2 games straight at home. They went into MSG against all the Rangers fans, against all that star power. They changed goaltenders. They had Vitek starting. Now they changed to Schmid. And he has really helped them come back in the series. Series is tied at 2-2.
I thought they won at home.
Huh?
I thought the Devils won at home.
No, the Devils had home advantage. They lost their first 2 games at home. They went to MSG.
That doesn't
and they
sound
proceeded
right.
to win 2 games.
There's no way the Devils had home advantage.
Yeah, they were the higher seed.
Were they really?
They were the higher seed.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, they were the higher seed.
Okay.
So it was because I thought Rangers won 2 games on the road. They're going back home. Like, they have the series in the bag. And then they proceeded to, I don't want to say blow it because they were really close games. I think the Devils just showed why they made playoffs. They rebounded. They've always been a good road team on this season. And they came back to make this series dead even. So I think my original prediction of Rangers in 7, I'm just glad this series was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be at the very beginning. Because the Rangers looked really dominant, and it looks like the Devils got it together at the right time. And then I want to move to Seattle and Colorado. So the series is tied 2-2. I think this series has been surprisingly close so far. It's a lot of fun to watch. Just because it's like the 2 different identities. You have a team with a lot of depth, no real superstars, but they're a team working together, versus Colorado, where Nathan McKinnon and Mikko Rantanen have really been carrying this team. And then, unfortunately, Cale Makar kind of has one of the most stupid suspensions I've ever seen in playoff history. So the Seattle player's on a breakaway, right? He's getting chased by Cale Makar. The Seattle player shoots it, hits the goalie, goes off into the netting, out of play, right? So play's dead. So the guy's kind of coasting into the corner, and then Cale Makar just body checks him into the boards for no reason. And he's suspended 1 game in Game 5 when the series is tied at 2-2. And Game 5 is such a pivotal game, especially in a 7-game series. And now you don't have one of your best players. It was such a dumb mistake to make, especially when you're a superstar player. And this suspension could cost them the series. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if Seattle moved on to the second round just because of that suspension when you're that important to a team. So Game 5 will really determine how that series is going to go.
I mean, yeah, Game 5's huge. That's always the thing. It's like 70 or 80% of teams.
Into 5 tied.
Yeah.
It's pivotal.
Yeah.
Like,
Either way.
If you're entering 3 at tie, I don't think it's pivotal. I think 5 at tied is very pivotal.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think the stats like 78% of series.
Yeah, it's something like 70-something percent.
The winner is the person who wins Game 5.
Yeah.
Real quickly to go back. Cavs in 6 was Shane. Cavs in 7 was you. Cavs in 7 was me. Peter is the only one to have chose the Knicks.
Yeah.
What I said
6.
I may be right.
Alright, but back to hockey. Sorry, I just went and watched the tape. Back to it. Sorry.
It's funny how my hockey predictions are a lot closer than my NBA predictions.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Who would have guessed? He
would've-
spent the entire NBA prediction episodes being like, I don't know much about basketball, but
Watch so he's
watched-
doing really good in hockey, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not doing fantastic. I think you're doing okay. I think me and you are about on the same basis here.
I'm killing it all the time.
Wrong.
Have I been wrong in basketball yet?
You are pretty close. You're really close actually, which is really funny.
Everybody picked the Grizzlies.
No, I picked the Lakers.
No, you didn't.
I picked the Lakers
No, you didn't.
in 7.
Check the film.
I did. I heard the film for Lakers. Film said, me and Peter said that it's a possible chance that Lakers win, but it's more likely Grizzlies win.
Oh, yeah, I'm right.
And then we said whoever wins that game is in the finals.
Yep.
That's what we said.
Yep.
Tape's been checked. Yeah. And you told us no.
Went to what?
You told us no to Lakers having a chance.
Yeah, I was thinking about it after the show, and I was like, oh shit.
No! We had 5 minutes!
We had 1 minute, actually.
No!
Oh!
Jeremy, buddy!
The Boo Boo Book is coming out.
How is Caleb the only one? The only one.
I'm the worst. Like, I have the worst mouth outside of the show. I think I say the worst outside the show. Inside the show, I'm the only one. You're looking at me like I'm crazy.
I would feel like me and Peter.
Yeah, I think it's me and Shannon probably. Because we swear almost every other sentence outside of the show.
Like, especially
I get told all the time.
Especially
I
in
swear so much.
ice hockey.
Oh, lacrosse? I do the same thing.
Yeah, so it's like especially like when in sports and around like the guys.
I'm pretty bad.
Anyway,
That's so disappointing.
Yeah.
it's in the book.
It's the first time we've started the show on time. We had 1 minute left. We were about to be flawless, Jeremy.
At least you didn't like stumble upon your words and somehow curse in the process accidentally.
I think the funniest thing is Jeremy was looking me in the eyes, and he said that, and his eyes got massive. Absolutely massive. He was like,
I thought he was gonna double curse again because he was like, "Oh, I cursed." Oh.
yeah. No. That was. Okay.
So disappointing.
So Peter's good at guessing basketball. Shane's good at hockey. Jeremy is good at breaking every single rule we have. And
I've never gotten a prediction wrong in my life.
and I'm good at not breaking the rules that we have.
Never gotten a prediction wrong in my life.
Let's start a compilation.
You can never be wrong if you
we
share
went
it
back,
that you're
Jeremy.
wrong.
Let's make a compilation
I think
from the
almost-
start of the Triple Threat show.
You're gonna have to watch all of that.
I think every single basketball prediction you've ever made is almost wrong.
I think you're
I think
dead
you're
wrong
below.
about
I think
that.
you're below 50%.
You literally told us no for the Lakers.
Yeah, I did.
I'm at a loss for words.
Crazy. The series is not over yet, my man.
I mean, even if we still picked the Grizzlies, so
No.
I said I wouldn't be shocked if the Lakers won.
yeah.
I said if they do it, they're going to do it in 6. And I'm on a pretty good track for that. It's 3-1 right now.
Anyway,
Just depends.
that doesn't matter.
What matters is Jeremy broke the rules and ended up in the Boo Boo Book again.
Again, I've never been in this book before.
Me neither.
Add that to the compilation.
I have never been in this book before. This is the first time.
Maybe not in that book, but the previous book.
No, never,
Whatever.
never. I've
Okay.
never been.
All
in
right.
kids.
You're never wrong if you never admit to being wrong.
Sign us out, Jeremy.
Anyway, thank you,
We have reached the
everybody,
end of the Triple Threat
so
show.
much for tuning in to the Triple Threat Show on WXJM, 88.7 FM, Harrisonburg, Virginia, and WXJM.org. My name is Jeremy Lapidus, host of this Triple Threat Show, joined as always by my 3 friends and co-hosts,
Shane Brisland.
Peter Kegwin.
We
and
have 5 questions to avoid liability.
Caleb Carney. You can check us out on YouTube at The Triple Threat Show. You can check us out on Instagram at The Triple Threat Show. And you can check us out on Twitter at 3 Threat Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Have a good night.
We got a viewer.
My brother Evan was listening. He said, "Good show."
Oh, thank you.